Hello, everybody. Rotoworld Draft Day is rolling on. I am Patrick Daugherty, joined, of course, by Mr. Denny Carter, but extra, of course, by Fantasy Life's Ian Hartitz and Dwain McFarland, friends of the website, friends of the show, pseudo co-workers. I don't know, what do we even call each other? I'll tell you what we are, is we're lovers of fantasy football. And I'm a lover. Lover is a very weird word to be used.
It's super weird.
The Superflex format. And that is what we are going to be doing for you today. We're going to do a Superflex mock draft. It's, of course, real in our hearts. But two quarterback leagues I love. They get a little long in the tooth if you have more than 10 teams. With 12 teams, I love Superflex because it keeps quarterbacks important. And it's just a way to lengthen the player pool, add extra layers of strategy. Dwain, I love it. You were describing it earlier, some of the reasons you like the format. What are some of the ways we sell people on Superflex, even though I would say it sells itself?
Well, I think Superflex is a lot of fun, period. But I think if you're going to do it, you've set this one up the right way, which is to have 3 starting wide receivers. It's full PPR. And then you've got another flex position, which can be wide receiver, running back, or tight end. And then, your final flex could be a quarterback, or it could be wide receiver, running back, tight end. By adding those additional bench spots, or not bench spots, but starting spots, and it being full PPR, I mean, you still are changing the dynamics of really the supply and demand. Like, it creates pressure at wide receiver too, not just at quarterback. And that's what I think, in my opinion, makes it fun. When I get in these super flex leagues and it's 2 running backs and 2 receivers, I'm like, come on, man, guys. This is too easy. Basically, you just get the top quarterbacks or you don't. But whenever you expand that pool of starting wide receivers and add those flex spots, I think that's what adds the extra layer of strategy on top of it being the super flex league.
Yeah, where you have the quarterback thirst, that goes without saying, in Superflex. But when we add back the standard receiver thirst, where if you want to start with 4 receivers like Denny Carter, will probably do something crazy like that. Yes. You can still do that if you want. I love Superflex so much because fantasy football, despite being one of my favorite all-time games, one of my favorite all-time pastimes, the strategies can just get a little samey, especially when we've all been in standard PPR, 3 receiver. That's been the standard format now for a while. I've just loved Superflex coming on. I'm going to love once this draft actually gets started. It's going in 15 seconds. And first up from our group on the clock is going to be Mr. Denny Carter. We have a friend of Denny at number 1. I have no idea who this person is. And Cris Wilson, NBC producer at number 2. Mr. Aditya Foldiore, one of our freelancers. Mr. Dwain, Mark Garcia, Ian Hartitz, Christopher Crawford, myself, friend of the show, DJ McConnell, Nick Schlane, a freelance writer for us, and then the great, of course, Chet Gresham. We're now in the draft room. I'm hitting start. And guess what? We're actually making draft picks, guys. Josh Allen, number 1 overall. What's this guy's name? Elko Pop? Didn't overthink it.
El Chapo?
Yeah, El Chapo.
How do I turn off the sound here, guys? I got it.
Sounds brutal.
The sound is absolutely brutal.
All right. It's my turn.
Denny,
already at panic station.
Denny, are you going to be a hipster? Just do something hipster,
man.
I'll do something crazy here. I'll take Jamar Chase. Be crazy. Just
crazy. Don't let Dwain off the hook.
Why is Dwain on?
No, he's letting you off.
Every one of these drafts, the top 4 dual threats go 1 through 4, but now Dwain gets to be Mr. Smarty over here.
I don't get to be Mr. Smarty.
Then don't take the quarterback.
Don't take
pressure me. Do you want to pressure me into not taking a quarterback? Don't say I want. This is the place to lab it out. This is the place to lab it out.
True.
Prove you're a hipster, Dwain. Don't take a quarterback. All right. You know what? I'm smarter than everyone else in Superflex. I'm not taking a quarterback.
Don't take Hurts.
He's thinking about not taking Hurts.
Oh, okay.
All right. Guys, I hate to say it. Don't let your kids hear this. Bullying.
Oh, I got it.
Bullying.
So sharp.
Yeah, we shouldn't let that happen to Ian. The only thing worse than it happening to Dwain was
Can we start this over? Can we start?
You guys don't know how Ian drafts the second half of his teams. He's going to botch this.
I don't know what to do ever from the 9 or 10 spot in Superflex leagues. I've missed on the breakaway tier. I'm not really feeling Justin Jefferson this year. Am I really feeling Joe Burrow? Can they really be like last year? The Bengals, to me, their analog was the 2000 Rams. The year the greatest show on turf offense had a horrible defense. And is that really a sustainable fantasy or real life?
I think
approach?
it is.
You think it is? All right.
I mean, they're going to be without Trey Hendrickson. Their secondary is not very good. I don't know.
All right. Greatest show on artificial Bengals turf.
By the way,
Joe Burrow.
the Cowboys are taking the Bengals comp way too seriously now with Micah being out along with Hendrickson. I mean, what are we doing here?
So to recap real quick, we've gone Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Jaden Daniels, Dwain under great duress took CeeDee Lamb. Mark Garcia, our great NBC freelancer, took Bijan Robinson. Ian, after really getting in Dwayne's head, let's be real, let Jalen Hurts fall to him.
That was a psyop if I ever saw
it. Was a psyop by Ian. Then Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Burrow, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson. Chet on the clock to end round one. To begin round two, I mean, one round in, but is anyone already feeling regret? Dwayne, how do you feel about taking CeeDee Lamb?
I feel fine because, I mean, it is 3 wide receivers in this full PPR. And look, this is the place to lab these sort of things out for people. That's the way I look at this. There's probably going to be some column written on this saying, look at Dwayne. He's a complete dumbass. Like, how's he lead? How does this guy even have a job in this industry? And then, like, Ian's going to retweet it. He's going to have a lot of fun with it. But in my opinion, like, this is the place to try something like this and let people see how it works out. And if they think my team sucks, then great. Right. I just showed you what not to do. You should thank me for that.
Yeah, I will say that in my experience, if you show a super flex team, like your team that you drafted, and you don't have 2 elite quarterbacks, it will be immediately dismissed as the worst super flex team of all time. So,
I know.
I get that.
Dwayne just said people are going to see his draft, call him a dumb A word. Let me tell you, if you've ever been in a draft with Dwayne, you wish that were the case because he's not. And
well, thank you.
Wins fantasy leagues very frequently. Have I just lost the fantasy league by taking Amon-Ra St. Brown, Denny? Because I'm like you. I'm all in on JMO this year.
No, please.
I keep making the greatest show on turf comparison. I sort of get 2,000 Rams energy from the Lions this year. Cool. I think they're coming back to the pack a little bit. I don't think the defense can be quite as bad as it was at the end of last year, but I also don't think it'll be as good as it was to begin the year. And the Lions strike me as a weekly shootout team. I think it's going to be simplified and condensed too without Ben Johnson. And that is just get Amon-Ra St. Brown the ball as many times as we possibly can.
Yeah.
I've been taking a scary amount of Amon-Ra. And I mean that in the true sense, scary. I'm kind of scared how much Amon-Ra St. Brown I have.
No, I mean, the guy is like in the range of outcomes for St. Brown this year is 200 targets. So, I mean,
I wouldn't say that. But.
Crazy target share coming. By the way, Bo Nix drafted with a 14th pick overall.
It was, the 15th pick overall.
I mean, that's aggressive. That's aggressive.
So Dwayne, at 16, I was considering Malik Neighbors. He fell all the way to 20 or 21. Yeah. You have gone receiver back to back, like you said. You probably would not have done that if it weren't the second flex, if there weren't the third receiver. But all kidding aside, like, what is the plan at quarterback now? Is it just value falling to you? Is there a certain point where no matter you're going to double tap the position? What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you that.
That's true. You cannot.
I would have to kill you, but I can't even do that, because I'm not next to you. No, I'm more willing to try this strategy from the middle of a draft. I think it's really tough to try this strategy in a super flex. If you're more on the ends, because everyone's just looking at the board and they're like, he doesn't have one. And you just put yourself at such risk of you guys know how it goes, whether it is, a strategy play by someone, or they're just really wanting to stick it to you. And Ian and I last night, we did a draft over on Real Time Sports in the Fantasy Life Championship. And I swear the guy right next to us, every time we'd talk about a guy, I kept kidding Ian. I'm like, dude, is your mic piped straight into this guy's
we got sniped on Troy Franklin.
Oh,
how does that happen?
What?
It's pretty hilarious. So, but it's easier, I think, from the middle. I don't know about you guys, but you can kind of read it, and you're like, okay, I'm to the point where I probably need to take a quarterback. And I mean, I could do one right here. But man, I love getting the start of CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors, and it's a tier for me. Brian Thomas Jr., Nico Collins, Neighbors, those guys are all really good. So I'm happy to get any of them in a full PPR, especially a league where, you have to start 3, we could start up to 5 of these dudes.
Guys, Dwayne, I'm pushing the anti-quarterback strategy here to its limits.
You are. That was pretty bad pick there. Actually.
I started with Jamar Chase, who is good, and then Drake London, who might see a 45% target share, and then Trey McBride, who I think is in play definitely to outscore Bowers this year, and now I'm going to have Flacco as my QB1. I think is what's.
So Dwain makes such a good point. Sorry to cut you off, Dwain, about super flex leagues where being on the ends, you really are playing quarterback roulette. Like, you have to think about, if I don't do it now, there's 24 picks between now and my next pick. Like, it might not look like this tier will get cleaned out, but you really, really need to understand that it very well might. And that, yeah, it is easier to play chicken with quarterback from the middle. Ian did not play chicken with quarterback from the middle. He convinced Dwain to let Jalen Hurts fall. Nico Collins in the second round. Devin Achane in the third round now, Ian. Ian, how you doing? We were just talking for a while. How do you feel about your first 3 picks?
Would have been cool if I managed to get A.J. Brown there to stack with Hurts in round 3. But, we can't have everything in this draft, so I'll still be okay with it. It is funny, though, because, Pat, we were talking actually on the Fantasy Life show today. We're in several slow super flex drafts going on right now. And, again, I think it's pretty straightforward. Again, these big 4 dual threat guys at the top, and Joe Burrow goes round 1, 2. But the kind of the waiting game for the next tier of guys can get so long because no one wants to be forced to have that second QB be, Tua or Geno or Stafford. So I don't know about you, man, but when I'm on the clock here, like, I'm just constantly counting like the number of potential quarterbacks that could go until I'm on the clock again. Because last thing we want is to have to be in that tier. So Denny's embracing it. Shout out, but I'd like to avoid it.
I do spend half the Superflex drafts almost literally counting quarterbacks. And right now, you know what? I'm not going to live that. Actually, I am going to live that life. I'm going to punt my second quarterback year. No one is looking appealing to me. I didn't realize I was on the clock, in case you can't tell how I'm filibustering.
I could tell.
All these guys are bad.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. When they're all bad, what do you do?
And you know what? It's a mock draft. I'll tell you what you do. You take Amari and Hampton.
There you go.
That's what you do.
I like that.
Herbert's at the top of the ADP right now. I don't think any of us have him ranked that high. But I think the reason why we wait is because Herbert versus even Trevor Lawrence, like, I can't definitively say who's going to be winning that yet. That's kind of the top and bottom of the tier.
So Nick and Chet at the end didn't have a quarterback yet. Frankly, I couldn't decide who I wanted, so I'm hoping Nick and Chet kind of help make the decision for me, because I am going to take my second quarterback. I think I'm hell or high water here at the 4th spot, and I just want someone else to help make the decision for me here.
I mean, right now you have at the top of the quarterback queue, you're the draft order here, ranking, whatever you want to call it, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, right? Way down here, you Drake May, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields. Like, that to me is very flat. And so I feel like you get any of those, a couple of any of those guys, and you're doing okay. That's my hope anyway.
That was my thinking.
This
there
is risky
though
for Chet. Like Dwain was saying, being at the turn. If I'm Chet here, that's scary.
That is scary.
4 rounds with no quarterback. It's gonna be a lot of picks before it comes back.
Chet and Nick both passed up on their first quarterback. There are now 4 skill players. Basically, I feel like I almost have to take one now, but I think also playing chicken is more fun.
It is kind of crazy to have Genty and CMC though.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, so 2 teams for the first 4 rounds without a quarterback. You will not see that very often. You will just especially not see that on the end. As we wait for DJ to pick, I can't help but notice in every draft, AJ Brown. What is up with like the industry-wide lack of faith in AJ Brown? I feel like this year, especially since it's kind of an article of faith that the Eagles are gonna have to pass more. 24 attempts per game for Jalen Hurts last year. After that number was 30 over the previous 3 years. That doesn't mean it's for sure going to happen. Maybe those be as efficient as they were again last year. It just feels like the passing game volume has to tick up for the Eagles. And I don't quite understand AJ Brown falling behind guys like Ladd McConkey, like always behind Puka Nacua. I feel like AJ Brown can end up one of this year's like primary league winners. Does anybody else share this feeling, or do you guys agree with fading AJ Brown?
You're up, RotoPat.
I am. I'm taking the worst pick ever, so I was filibustering.
Good.
I agree with you. I think it's kind of like the question though that we had about the Bengals. Like, it's like, okay, they were like the circus last year. Can they really be the circus again? And Denny was really quick to say, yeah, like there. Well, it's the same thing for the Eagles, right? There's the ingredients there for them to still dominate. So it's in the range of outcomes that they're still this really run heavy team, but it's very unlikely that they have a drop back rate of 48%. Like, it's probably going to be like more like 52, 54%. And if you go back and look at the 2 years before and the yards per game from Jalen Hurts, even in their Super Bowl year from 2022, right? He averaged like, I can't remember now, the guys, but it was like 240 passing yards per game. Like, if he does that again, AJ Brown is still the alpha on the team. I mean, the guy's getting like a 33% target share every single game. So all you need is a little bit of regression. They could still be one of the more run heavy teams, but I will say it is in the range of outcomes that they do just run it back from the way it was, because like they're the best roster in football, like top to bottom. Like there's no one honestly who compares.
Dwayne, watch this pick.
Yeah, I already know what you're doing. Like, just I'm glad you could finally get on board with him after I talked him into it after months.
You had to talk him into a Buckeye?
No.
When I'm going to draft with Dwayne, I'm taking Trayvon Henderson before he can. I just know deep down, not even deep down, just very much at the surface, how much it bugs him. So always a pleasure of mine.
I think that was good value Ian got on Achane in the third round. I know it's related to the calf issue, but that's pretty late.
Yeah.
Real quick, Dwayne and Ian are joining us from Fantasy Life. Just let me tell you about Fantasy Life real quick. Get personalized fantasy football insights based on your league settings with Fantasy Life Plus. Your league is unique. Your advice should be too. Head to fantasylife.com and use promo code ROTO20 for 20% off. If you use Fantasy Life Plus, they'll tell you if you're in the draft room with Dwayne McFarland to always take Trayvon Henderson before that. That's the kind of stuff you get.
In all seriousness, if we were doing this in a regular Superflex league, I would have taken T. Higgins there, given the 3 wide receiver requirement. But we're not. We're in a draft where I am trying to make this tough on Dwayne and continue to make that eventual graphic as hard as possible for him to explain. So Trayvon, come on down.
And Denny is in a draft where he's continuing to make it hard on himself. 4 picks, 4 non-quarterbacks: Jamar Chase, Drake London, Trey McBride, Devonta Smith. He's definitely not betting on the Eagles running back, the 48% pass rate. He's thinking it's got to tick up this year, like Dwayne was saying. It might, but that it might not. Denny, do you ever plan to take a quarterback here? This is a super flex league.
I told you it's Flacco or bust. No, I mean I'm probably going to take one here, to be honest. But I don't know which one. So we're going to look strongly.
No one is clearing it up. We want someone to bust up this kind of samey tier, and just no one is doing it.
I tried to with Baker. Baker's one of my biggest regression candidates for the year, and I thought I'll go ahead and take one because probably 3 more will go after I take it, and then when it gets back to me, I'm going to be like, okay, I can let it go by, and then coming back, I'll get my second one in this round. And no. None have gone since I took Baker Mayfield, so I look like a complete moron.
Well, Dwayne, let me ask you about Baker Mayfield and regression, because it's just taken as an article of faith. He's going to regress this year. Before last season, it was a 4.6 career touchdown percentage, 7.2 last year. He, of course, led the league in touchdown passes. I mean, how severe do you think the regression is going to be? Or do you think he could still maintain an elite touchdown percentage, not over 7, but over 6? How in are you on the Baker Mayfield guaranteed regression candidate talking point?
Yeah, I think he is pretty guaranteed just because career record yards per attempt, career record, what you talked about, touchdowns per pass attempt, career record for rushing yards per game. So
double his previous for rushing yards per game.
So maybe he figured out a late life hack, which is, wow, I can add EPA to my team by scram. I don't know. You ever think of that? I think Baker's just, sees a lane. He's like, I'm going to take off. And it worked out last year. But I just think when you have a run across all those data points like that, it's going to be tough. And now we've got the stuff with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans getting a little bit older. Now we all love Emeka Egbuka. So I think he's still going to be good. He's ranked in the right place. And now that I don't take my second quarterback, literally all
it's beginning to happen.
Here it comes.
So, yeah.
And, I was deciding between Jared Goff and Drake May, and I bet on the Lions are coming slightly back to the pack principle and just went with Jared Goff, which I do not like. I never liked some of the extreme home road splits. They actually weren't as bad last year, if I recall correctly. But I just think this Lions, I think they're going to be caught up in weekly shootouts. And as much as I wanted to bet on Drake Mays, wow, you guys are getting screwed.
It worked really good for Chet.
We had the quarterback waterfall. It did. Caleb Williams to Christopher Crawford, Jared Goff, Drake May, Justin Herbert, Chet Gresham, who went 4 rounds without taking quarterback, then gets Justin Fields and Kyler Murray.
That works.
Best case outcome. It worked for him. It wouldn't have worked for you, Denny, if you had waited 1 more round, but you did get Brock Purdy in the 5th.
I got Purdy, and I'll get someone next time. I wish I had taken Fields, to be honest, but nevertheless.
Well, I don't know, guys. This year, there haven't been a lot of bad vibes, guys, in training camp. Justin Fields has been one of them. Are we putting too many eggs in the dual threat always makes the fantasy point machine go burr, or does it just not even matter? He could be bad, but Tyrod Taylor is a pretty weak backup in that he can't stay healthy when he plays. He's not really under any starting pressure, Justin Fields. Should we be worried about Justin Fields at all, or is it just he runs.
I have a thought on
Don't
this.
overthink it.
I do think he's going to be a top 12 quarterback as long as he's playing. It's really hard. But the challenge is the version of Justin Fields as a dual threat. If we take it back 10 years ago, it looked really good because it was like, man, I just had Tim Tebow and he sucks and he's scoring what Peyton Manning's scoring, a pocket passer that was leading the league in fantasy. Now you have Josh Allen, you have Lamar Jackson, you've got Jaden Daniels. They're just on another level. So basically all you're doing is you're saying Justin Fields, like, I don't have to worry about the passing touchdown regression. That's essentially what you're saying when you take him, and you're saying that, okay, he's going to be a top 12 quarterback, which he probably will be, but it's not the same as back in the day. It's just, it's not the same as it used to be because the other guys above him are scoring so much more with the way they get their dual threat points.
That is a really interesting point, and it's kind of an obvious point, I think, that I've never heard anyone make, or just the opportunity cost of passing on the elite tier of quarterbacks is just a little different than it used to be because the gulf is still there between like real life effectiveness. But yet now that the elite tier of quarterbacks aren't just pure pocket passers and they're almost all dual threats, it does lessen the reward for getting someone like
and there are degrees, right? So I wrote a piece on this. It's for free. People can check it out over on fantasylife.com. But I actually did the research and looked at like the different levels of passing yards per game paired with rushing yards. And really what you're looking for are just quarterbacks that can spike in both categories. So once you get to really Justin Fields, honestly, you can make an argument for guys like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has already been a QB8 and a QB12. He gets carries down inside the 5-yard line. He runs for 20, 23 yards per game. He could still spike for a 600-yard rushing season and 400 yards passing. Fields can only spike in one of those areas. So that I do like him, but I don't see him as being like quite the cheat code that we used to have last year. Now I loved Jaden Daniels, but that was mainly because we just knew there was so much more potential upside to Jaden as a passer and as a rusher. So I honestly like taking the elite quarterbacks this year, and it obviously depends on your draft spot. But in the middle of round 3, I'm down for it.
There's a lot. Jaden Daniels too. Just I feel like his ADP was a little bit lower last year. But Dwain, I also just I think fantasy managers are kind of intuitively sensing this with guys like Justin Fields because I thought it was going to be one of those summers where like late August I was going to have to be saying things like, guys, listen, I know he's a dual threat, but I'm not on board with QB8 or QB9 Justin Fields. Like you got to relax.
Well, I think the preseason stuff has helped with that too.
Because, the ADP has just not taken off for Justin Fields. And, he has had a bad preseason.
I mean, he's average.
He's an easier guy to rank in like the top 10 or 11 because you just look at the numbers of rushing quarterbacks. But once you're on the clock, it's like, am I really doing this? Like Drake May is available a little bit later. So I will say on ESPN, Fields goes like outside the top 120. Like I can get more so behind that because there's not wide receivers or running backs I'm really trying to draft at that point anyway. But, man, I think Yahoo is closer to pick 80, pick 90. So miss me with that.
Yeah. I wouldn't reach for Fields, but I do trust. I trust the Konami code.
Trust the floor.
I mean, you're going to get 8 rushes from this guy every single week, and he's one of the most effective rushing quarterbacks we've ever seen. So I agree with him.
I think Ian had the operative phrase on Justin Fields there, though. Where this year he's kind of entering into the "Are we really doing this Hall of Fame?" Like you could come into the draft like I'm waiting on quarterback. I know the Fields Konami code's there later, and I'm going to do it. And then just every time I've been confronted with that choice, I fall back on the am I really doing this principle, and then I don't really do it.
I mean, theoretically, and Dwain loves to bring up, and he's right, the low passing yards per game, but he should be able to give us like 200 every now and then. It's been so rough, though. And it's just, again, I was telling Pat on our show earlier, it's like I feel like everyone is in the best shape of their life and they're having this great training camp. And then it's like Jets camp, Justin Fields 1 for 9, throwing 3 picks again. Like just, we talk about constant drum beats of good news. Like it's been the opposite for Fields all freaking off season.
Yeah. It's like Pat said, literally, I think he's like the only negative news other than Brian Robinson getting benched for Bill. I mean, like that's like it.
We're out of thoughts. We're halfway through. We just ran out of thoughts. We're not going to talk anymore.
I do want to say I let my homerism sneak in here, and as you know, I'm a Titans fan, have been for a very long time. And I took Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley back to back, so I'm all in on that stack.
Denny, you know what that's called? That's called drafting 7th place.
Well, it could be drafting 12th place or first.
That's true. You may 7th place would maybe be a good outcome.
Yeah. Well, it would be an outcome that's not the outcome is either 12th or first. We'll see which one.
Guys, how do you feel when we're not in a large field tournament and I have stacked Jared Goff with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams?
That's
like,
good.
well, it's fine, but then what if Jared Goff is Jared Goff this year? Like, if I just like turfed my entire team, like, do I have no chance?
I do struggle to come to grips with elite NFL quarterback Jared Goff. I still have trouble with it, but I decided to just give in. I guess he is. I guess under Dan Campbell he is.
Well, the top running back available appears to be another Detroit line.
His metrics are so good. They're so crazy good.
I'm not going all in. I'm gonna wreck. Actually, I should probably take.
Wait, what did you do?
I was David Montgomery's looking like the best running back left.
You coward.
No, I'm gonna make a far more cowardly pick.
Oh, good.
I'm wrecking Denny's Titans stack.
Oh no!
Oh man, how could you do this to the most ardent Titans fan alive?
Tony Pollard, not a very fun name to talk about. I don't think I've talked about him all summer, so I'm gonna ask you guys about it right now. Like, is he like a great hidden value pick? Is he an ultimate just like let someone else make it pick? Where they were talking up the interchangeability between Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears again. Then Tyjae Spears got hurt again. We think it's an offense, even if it doesn't take as big of a step forward as Denny might like it to, has to take a step forward. Is Tony Pollard kind of a great, just like forgotten RB3, or is there just Tony Pollard is Tony Pollard? You're getting him, and you're not getting any more than what you might think, and you definitely might be getting less. Does anyone have any strong Tony Pollard feelings?
Nope. I don't have strong feelings. It's just kind of like, okay, like I took Tony Pollard.
Yeah, because that's how I just felt, and I was like, can someone make me feel like?
Yeah, no, I can. Look, he finally bounced back. Okay, like he shattered his leg 2 years ago, or whatever. You know, he finally bounced back last year. He saw a bump in a lot of like key metrics. The Tyjae Spears ankle sprain is reportedly very high, as high as anyone's ever seen. You know, so I think he has a runway. I think he has a runway to be like the established RB1 in the
Denny,
offense.
can you show us on your leg how high?
Well, it's more of the hip area. So
frankly, it's so high that Denny cannot be showing this. The ankle sprain has gone.
It's actually being confused with a knee injury.
Yeah, so Dwain, when I just took Tony Pollard and I had the feeling, yeah, great, I took Tony Pollard. My backup choice was Matthew Golden. He fell to you a few picks later. RJ Harvey, Matthew Golden back-to-back. Two of the summer's hype merchants, but rightfully so. Second-round running back going into Sean Payton's system. And a first-round receiver. Matthew Golden was destined to be that first-round receiver that we just kept coming up with reasons not to draft. But it didn't last all summer. We started coming up with reasons to draft in the past.
But he's still hanging around a little bit lower than the others. So I mean, you're getting still a smidge of value versus the other guys that have steamed up even more. But yeah, people have started to come around. The supermodel thought he was fine, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, this is the first round draft pick for the Packers. They don't have an established guy that's like just the dude. We all like Jaden Reed. We all like Tucker Kraft, but it's pretty wide open. There's this world where Matthew Golden is the leader in the clubhouse right away in year one. And if not, you're still getting a guy that's going to be on the field, right? He's going to be one of the top playmakers for the Packers, even if in year one, he just doesn't go completely bananas. Chet evidently did not get the memo. I actually am about to sign out. I don't draft unless I get Tyler Warren, especially if I don't get Trevion Henderson. And so I feel like I should probably sign out, but I'll hang around since we both.
But you're doing this draft under protest officially.
Yeah,
that works. The office of
Tyler Warren is my most drafted guy, but I have
really.
Yeah, Matthew Golden is one of my most drafted wide receivers just because he is a first-round pick and he goes after all the others. And sometimes we think about too much. We overthink things. Like last year, people did that with Ladd McConkey, me included. Oh man, is he going to get on the field in the 2 wide receiver sets?
Hey, listen, Denny and I, all we did last summer was praise Ladd McConkey endlessly. We didn't say he was a guaranteed bust at all. At least I didn't.
Already.
I never said too
Go
small.
gym rat.
I was all in on Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers last summer. Let me be clear.
Sneaky athletic.
Sneaky athletic.
Caleb, good picked one.
With Tyler Warren, talk about a guy having one of the all-time hypes, not all-time, but by this summer standards, where I think this has been a very quiet summer in general. Tyler Warren, consistently hyped, consistently steamed, what you would hope with your first-round pass-catching tight end, but it's Daniel Jones. It's a pretty congested skill core, all things considered. For not being an elite offense, there's a lot of guys who need targets. Are we just worried that Daniel Jones, a lower volume guy, not as low volume as I sometimes assume or remember, can Tyler Warren really get enough touches?
It's definitely lower than the high ankle sprain we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
So here's my thoughts just real quick on Tyler Warren. Number one, 14th pick overall in the draft. Yes, he was a late breakout, essentially year 5. Played with Brenton Strange and Theo Johnson, all these other guys at Penn State. But the breakout was so intense. And the role they put him in, which was essentially, hey, just kind of get open underneath and we're going to give you the ball. And we know you wear the John Riggins number. Just go do your thing.
Mhm.
I think we're going to get the same thing. Not Steichen leads the NFL since taking over at the Colts in RPO plays, right? And so Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson can run the RPO. They are not the gravitational pull that Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson are, but you at least have to respect their run ability. And I think a lot of those passes that were going to Michael Pittman in that now go to Tyler Warren. He's the clear guy you want to get involved underneath. The other thing, Steichen ranked 2nd in play action rate since taking over the team. So it's all about really scheming up things that work well for Tyler Warren's game. So I think he's going to be honestly, I agree on everything you said. Concerns about the passing game. There's a lot of other good players here with Pittman, with Josh Downs. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But I just think with the quarterbacks we have, Tyler Warren's going to be the easy button in the offense. And I think, and we already saw it in preseason, he's not leaving the field and they're just peppering this guy with targets. And I think that's going to continue. And the other thing I would say is, I remember a lot of folks last year. Now he's not the same prospect as Brock Bowers. So let's just put that out there, get out of the way. I am not saying that. So nobody try to put those words in my mouth, but
to say that
Brock Bowers,
to say that, the point being is folks faded Brock Bowers and people say, I didn't fade Brock. Yeah, you did. He was around 9 and 10 pick. That means everybody faded him last year. Okay, guys. So don't go try to find your one tweet where you said this one thing about Brock Bowers being a good prospect.
Trust me, Dwayne,
Dwayne,
you cannot find the one tweet where Denny and I claimed we liked Brock Bowers because there were 0 tweets where we.
Ian and I did say we liked him, but it's not like we came out and ranked him as a top 4 guy. We talked hypothetically to cover our bases that, well, what if Brock Bowers is the guy? But my point being is, no one liked him playing with Devontae Adams. Nobody liked his quarterbacks. Everybody thought Jacoby Myers was also good. And I mean, the thing is, talent is just the trump card. So you just want to take the talent. Devontae Adams gets traded. If he doesn't, does Brock Bowers' rookie season go the same way? Probably not. But I mean, the Colts wide receivers, Josh Downs is hurt quite often. Michael Pittman dealt with a back injury all last year. So, there's just a lot of paths to where it's suddenly not a condensed offense. And I think that he actually is the player besides Jonathan Taylor that you could most easily base your offense around for your crappy quarterbacks. And kind of give them some cheat codes, kind of like what Sean Payton does. And that's not a stray for Bo Nix, but Sean Payton's the master of designing easy targets, right, to running backs and different things like that. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan's another one that does that very well. Sean McVay also. So I think with the way Steichen runs the offense, I think there's still a lot to like.
Talent is the trump card is just the phrase there. But first round picks, just focus on the fact that they're a first round pick, and not every first round pick is going to have a good season or even a good career, but it's just always a dangerous game to talk yourself out of people for first round draft capital. We see it every single year. We're still sort of seeing it with Matthew Golden, and just when in doubt, I know there's a reason this guy was a first round pick. It doesn't matter that Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew is his quarterback. I just need to believe in Brock Bowers. And
I do think you get to a point to where you could be pushing it too far. But like for me, that's kind of like round 8. So like my overall strategy for tight ends and stuff is already out. And I show people like, hey, ESPN Yahoo Sleeper, like you can get the guy in round 10, but I'd still take him in round 8 or 9 if you waited at tight end and you really want a chance to offset. I'm not guaranteeing the guy's going to hit, but if you're looking for the player that's on the board that could actually, if things went his way, offset potentially what the folks that drafted George Kittle, Brock Bowers, and what they're getting, theoretically, Tyler Warren's the guy. Now, is it going to happen? No, we can't guarantee it. And I've even told people if you wait that long, honestly, I don't normally recommend this, but if you want to draft another tight end after him, just in case to have, I'm okay with that. I don't personally do it. I believe in Tyler Warren enough. Usually once I get him, like he's my only guy, unless it's like a 20-round draft. So I just think it's the other thing of what can you not get later? Like I can find a tight end I can start later, but I can't find one that if it goes right for him, besides Colson Loveland, he would be the other one where if he suddenly was in an 80% route participation over Cole Kmet, and he's got a tougher challenge, right? Because Cole Kmet's actually been a decent tight end at times in his career, which is why I think we gravitate to Warren. It's wide open.
Denny, this is super flex league. You've still found a way to make it all about zero RB. You've made it all about you. Or you didn't take a running back to the 9th round. Zach Charbonnet, frankly, a pretty good outcome if you're going to wait 9 rounds to take your first running back.
That's
Zach Charbonnet, J.K. Dobbins.
That's impressive.
True to the brand, I guess is what I would say. How are you feeling?
Mostly this is an exercise in brand establishment. So no, I'm kidding. No, this is how I really draft, just so folks know. Like, and these guys have been in leagues with me. This is how I do it. I should have taken Krosky Merritt over Dobbins.
Bill
Messed up there.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill for the brand.
I'm sorry, Bill. I struggle with
the brand.
I struggle with the Bill thing, but so I'm actually. Oh, what am I doing?
Eckler went full round before almost, which was surprising.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like Eckler, but
not hype merchants in this league. We have a very grounded, sober group of fantasy drafters. They're reading Rotoworld every day. They're reading Fantasy Life. They know, sometimes it's not about the hype. Sometimes it's about banking the safe. Travis Kelce in the 11th round, by the way. Can't say I entirely knew he was still there when I took Evan Ingram.
Good value. Who did you take? Ingram?
I took Evan Ingram, and Ian, I told you. So as you can see, I was being transparent. I just keep taking Evan Ingram in every single week. And I believe in the easy button touches and that Sean Payton wanted those for Bo Nix. And I really, really, really need this point to come.
But that's about the time you want to take your tight end. I mean, again, the running backs on the board, we're looking at this point, mid-tier RB3s, the top 40 wide receivers. Like, that's why I'm not going out of my way for the Hawkinsons and Laportas of the world. I see why they are tight end 4, tight end 5 compared to Evan Ingram and Njoku and these other guys. But it's that 3 or 4 round difference that we can see on the board right now. Like, I want as many shots at that wide receiver group as I can before I'm going to go to a tight end. So I'm with Dwain. We're like Tyler Warren in that same bucket. And he's cool too, but I'm on the clock. Okay, someone else talk.
Dwain, pick up Ian's thread there, or Denny. I believe that was your voice. I'm staring.
No, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Denny. Jump in, man.
No, because mine is off topic. Go ahead, Dwain.
No, I mean honestly, like this year, like. And again, like my complete draft strategy drops today at 3 for folks. It'll be free over at Fantasy Life. So I thought it was coming out this morning, and then the editors told me this morning, no, it's at 3:00, and they know how Google works, and they think that this will get us more exposure through the weekend. So I've learned to trust them on these, things that I don't really study. But I think with Tyler Warren, for me, like he is essentially my Jaden Daniels from last year. Like he's my get out of jail free card at a position where I know I can still get a lot of upside. It's not a guarantee, but I really love the pick. And I think the other thing that does for you, if you are in the middle of round 3 and you hit a big tier break and you're just like, man, I don't know which one of these wide receivers I like. I have questions about all of them. I don't want to take this running back here. I would lean to the elite quarterback over the elite tight end because Tyler Warren, I think, gives you at least a shot, maybe in hell, to give you something that offsets Trey McBride. I don't think you have that at quarterback this year versus Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels. And once Jalen Hurts is gone. Now, if you're playing in a league where you think one of those guys are going to fall to round 4, then you push it around, which is what happens on Underdog right now. You just kind of sit back in the middle of round 3 and you're all cozy. And you're like, well, Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts is falling to me. So it depends though. Most home leagues, the elite quarterbacks all go in round 3. So I think consensus ADP across ESPN, Yahoo, Sleeper, Real-Time Sports, across everything we can get our hands on is like 34. So he's like the end of round 3 in a 12-teamer, beginning of round 2 in a 10-teamer. So you just kind of got to know where those guys go. But I'm more comfortable taking the elite dual threat quarterback and waiting on the tight end and using Tyler Warren really like as my go-to strategy.
Yeah, last year, Dwain, I largely faded the elite quarterbacks because specifically Jaden Daniels was available much, much later. I thought the gap between Daniels and a guy like Richardson was absolutely like the worst thing I'd ever seen in fantasy football. And so Daniels became like the key to drafts for me because of that. So you're saying this year the key might be it might be a tight end, and it might be
yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And I like to think about the onesie positions that way, because you guys know how hard it can be to start a draft and take 2 elite onesies,
right?
Like in your first 4 picks. You can manage it like in some smaller home leagues that just have 2 starting running backs, 2 starting receivers, and maybe 1 flex. But once you get into a league where it's more like this, 3 wide receivers and you got 2 flexes, honestly, it's almost a death sentence to try to go with the 2 onesie elites, because you get buried by multiple spots. Like your wide receiver 2 and 3 or your flex player you're not going to like. You know what I mean? You're going to have a hole somewhere in this format that we're playing. So my thought is like, hey, if Tyler Warren's going in round 10 of most of these home leagues, like he's the guy this year at the onesie position.
I like it a lot. Should I like it a lot that I took Jaden Blue over Bashal Tootin? That's who I was deciding with my 11th round pick. I chose Jaden Blue. Very similar situations for both of them, where they might start off like a change of pace back floor. The road to more work, maybe a little easier to envision for Bashal Tootin. I think I like Blue's floor to slightly more. They're 2 of the buzziest backs out there. They haven't really become like full-blown hype merchants, though. How do you feel about Jaden Blue versus Bashal Tootin, or just what are your thoughts in general on Jaden Blue, Bashal Tootin? Ian Hartitz, I'll ask you. I haven't spoken to you for a few minutes.
I mean, it does seem similar where, yes, Schottenheimer was obviously the OC in Dallas these last 2 years, but I mean, Javonte and Miles, they haven't been in the room either. So it's this situation where, look at the running backs going. I mean, Trey Benson, I took a guy that's not even on a football team in Quinshon Judkins. We'll see how that works out. But, Tyler Algier, Isaac Arendo, it is like the time for the handcuffs. So with Tootin and Jaden Blue, they are guys where, yeah, they'll benefit if injuries happen ahead of them. But we also could look up in week 5 and just see them rise up the depth chart, maybe even earlier, because it is such a wide open backfield. So again, could go the other way and they just sit out and, they're the kind of Kamani Vidals of this year, where they're these RB3s that we just keep waiting to.
Don't ever say Kamani Vidal's name again. That didn't not well.
You said that in the email to not mention Kamani. Pat, I'm sorry. I
don't ever mention that one again.
It's his First Amendment right, technically.
Yeah.
Well, again, like at this point in the draft, if you are, and it just depends. If you already have 4 RBs and you just are looking for the Tyler Algier 1 injury away from smashing, you don't have to worry about flex value anyway.
Oh, Denny!
Eckler, Tootin, and honestly, again, Jaden Blue, like those are those 3 guys that could give you some flex value sooner rather than later.
Great
Dwain.
pick by Denny. Jackson Dart, man, late in a format like this. I love it. It's only a matter of time before this man.
Oh, God. I mean, Russ has 0 chance of holding this job. None. None. And I didn't come around to that. Like Pat's been on that since April, saying it's over, it's over, it's over.
Well, I've been with Pat then. Me and Pat in the same camp,
So,
like in a deep league kind of situation, right? And you're not thrilled with your upside at quarterback. I was highlighting Dart like Pat as being like, this is the guy you take late, man.
Yes,
you just
absolutely.
let him sit down there. And once he's on the field,
yeah,
he has I'm actually much more excited about him when he's on the field than Justin Fields. Like when Jackson Dart gets on the field, there's also a chance he could be a good passer. Now he's got to be at the same level of rusher, but I mean, we already saw it, this preseason. Like if you look at, what Dart has done over these games, like I just wrote it up this morning in the preseason takeaways. The bane of my life is Arthur Smith, by the way. Oh, he's the only possible coach who could make me need to write 500 words in a team write-up in preseason week 3. Arthur Smith is the only one that could do that. That's not the point of this. the point is that, you know, when you look at what Jackson Dart has done, it matches like his
Why are we
college
taking
profile.
2 tight ends?
228
What are you guys
yards
trying to prove?
per game.
Yeah.
This preseason with 2 touchdown passes, or he had threw for 228 yards for 2 touchdowns. But the big thing, scrambles, 3 scrambles for 43 yards for Jackson Dart.
You're
So
talking about
essentially, he was
Yeah.
16 of 28. So it's kind of like he's played 1 game in the preseason.
Yeah.
Again, against preseason defenses, all that stuff. But the archetype is the one we want. He has the archetype that can give you, honestly, he could be a top 8 quarterback down the stretch. Like that could happen.
Absolutely. That's not overstating it. I saw 2 throws from him in his first preseason start, and it was like, it's over. This is over. Like they cannot keep this kid off the field. Just a few other numbers from PFF. Jackson Dart in the preseason, 78% adjusted completion rate, adjust for drops. And then his pressure to sack ratio is a nice low 12%. So he's not taking unnecessary sacks like most rookies, like a lot of rookies do. So I like him a lot. And in this format, I feel like he could be very valuable.
Denny, one reason you take Jackson
Can
Dart.
Ian Hartitz snipe me in the last round?
Probably not.
One reason you take Jackson Dart as your 3rd quarterback in a super flex is so you don't have to take Joe Flacco.
Hey guys,
Right.
I don't know if you've heard. Michael Penix, Kyle Pitts, they're golfing together. This is the year. Kyle Pitts, let's go.
How recent was the golf? He's been talking him up since the beginning of camp. Is the golf since then, or was it before camp? Do we know?
It's a great question.
Very critical data point here. If they're golfing after what he said early in camp, like it's on. Like Kyle Pitts, like
is Michael Penix not returning the text anymore? You know, hey, what are you doing on Friday? And just I didn't see it. My bad, man.
Penix is a good fit with like the style of Pitts and the way he plays, which is
What's
more
the
of a
style of
vertical.
Pitts?
The style of Pitts is no style at all, Denny. I mean, accurate. But if there were a style and we were to get imaginative, you know, early in his career, he really did work more down the field, just didn't have a quarterback to get him the ball. Penix has shown he's kind of got that YOLO Jameis in him. You know, I think he's just going to keep firing no matter what. I think that's huge for Drake London, but it could be big, you know, for Pitts as well. Like I could see Darnell Mooney being more the odd man out with stylistically how Penix plays. So, I mean, we'll see. Ian took him. Ian, do you even have another tight end? No, you waited.
He does not. He was bemoaning everyone else taking
one.
a second tight end, and then
I thought I could. I should have taken Tucker Kraft in 13.
Yeah.
I tried to get extra cute and push it one more, and you know, got burned a little bit, but that's okay. Jake Ferguson still hasn't been picked.
Danny, making sure you know you're on the clock. Thought maybe you're about to time out.
Yeah, I'm in timeout. Whoops, sorry guys.
Panic pick.
It informed me.
Janu.
That's not the worst. That's not the worst thing.
I mean, he'll play at least 40% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Denny, you've been set to auto for the final rounds of this draft.
I like the Dylan Sampson pick at the end, actually. I mean, might be the Brown starter for 5 to 6 weeks.
That really was a good way.
Let's go.
Bring us something. Denny Carter,
Yeah.
we'll have you tell us your team. Tell us your thoughts. How are you feeling in this super flex league?
All right. Everybody stick with me here. I know because, like I said, to start the show here, without elite quarterbacks and super flex, people just turn away in revulsion. But here's who I have. My starting quarterbacks would be Brock Purdy and Cam Ward. But here's the thing. My starting running backs would be Zach Charbonnet and J.K. Dobbins, you know, so you got that going for you, know. And then receivers, Jamar Chase, Drake London, Devontae Smith. Tight end would be Trey McBride. And then my flex likely would be Calvin Ridley. My QB3 is Geno Smith. My QB4 is Jackson Dart. And then other running backs include Isaac Guerendo and Braylon Allen. And I feel like I had one more, but I guess not.
See, Denny, I can't say I'd recommend only taking 4 wide receivers in any format. And,
You mean running backs?
No, you took 4 total wide receivers. Jamar
He did
Chase
spend the draft capital early.
He
so,
did.
I mean,
He did.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing is like,
Yeah.
you know, in leagues where I spend tons of draft capital at wide receiver, I'm not going to fill up my bench with wide receivers too.
You're going to get Isaac Tesla off the waiver wire. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean,
Isaac
he's going to end up
Tesla.
outscoring J-Mo, so good luck with that.
So Ian Hartitz, Jalen Hurts, Nico Collins, Chan, Travion, Pickens Love, Flowers, Debo, Jaden Reed, Jordan Mason, Keon Coleman, Quinshad Judkins, Javonte Williams and Kyle Pitts. Yay or nay, Ian? How are you feeling about your own team?
I'm feeling good. I mean, a lot of times you're in these sharp rooms where you're not able to get an elite quarterback in round one, but every once in a while, a few guys will pass on him early. You just get a real gift like Jalen Hurts there. So got Jordan Love coming back. Pat, you're actually now on the clock in our Rotoworld death match thing. And guess what? No, but we got the quarterbacks to come back to us. That's the game that you're playing in these middle rounds with the QB2, where, again, McCarthy, fine. Trevor Lawrence, fine. Dwayne talked them up. Jordan Love, though, I have right there in that tier. He's 1 year removed from a QB5 finish. So, very happy with the QB room. Nico Collins, would be one of my guys, but I feel like calling a my guy who's a top 15 overall player is kind of cheating, But Nico, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, Debo, Jaden Reed, and a true my guy in Keon Coleman, filling out the wide receiver room. Devon Achane, Trevion Henderson. Honestly, Dwayne's made a lot of good comps with Henderson too, rookie year Achane. So feeling good about them holding down the squad. Jordan Mason is another one of my guys where, again, just where he goes around the handcuffs, I think there's legit flex with benefits upside. I honestly think he's just kind of a cheaper version of David Montgomery. Again, Quinshon Judkins not on the team, but on round 12, I'll go ahead and take that risk. Kyle Pitts, round 14. Again, got a little too cute. Tucker Kraft in round 14 would have been the cherry, on top of this Sunday.
Are you like on purpose not mentioning Javonte Williams as well? Right over that one, Ian.
Correct.
we
need to respect his privacy on that one.
Hey, I will say, what was that? Was round 13. So your second to last round, you took Javonte.
Ollie Gordon went before Javonte. That's where I draw the line.
Real quick before we have Dwayne take us out, I had Joe Burrow, Amon-Ra, Amarian Hampton, Kyron Williams, Jared Goff, J-Mo, Jerry Jeudy, Tony Pollard, Evan Ingram, Khalil Shakir, Jaden Blue, Luther Burden, LB3, as he was known at Mizzou, Joe Flacco, and Britton Strange. Feeling pretty good. Don't love my running backs. I need Amarian Hampton to be for real. I'll say that. I definitely need Amarian Hampton to be for real. I need the Lions to score a lot of points. Definitely comfortable saying that. But yeah,
I think it's a good team. And if there's like an offense you want to go heavy on, like you picked one of them.
That's true. I did. Yeah, true. Going all in
the Browns. Yeah.
I like Evan Ingram too. I think Evan Ingram, where you got him after waiting at tight end, and you made sure you didn't get boxed out like Ian, and where you just have to take Kyle Pitts and make up something about him being good. At least you got a guy that's going to get targets.
So I do like the squad. Dwayne, do you like the squad? After, again, you made the controversial choice to pass on the quarterback in round one.
Yeah, in real life, I'm taking Hurts there, but Ian got me on the couch, pulled a Sigmund Bloom on me, got in my head and, made me pass on him because I'm a mental, I can't even say that word. That's not PC anymore. I'm a mental small person. But I'm actually okay with it because of the format. And that's kind of the way I was opening, is because we start these 3 wide receivers, you have to, and it's full PPR. I feel pretty comfortable. I think my biggest mistake of the draft was breaking the tier with Baker Mayfield. I thought the run was going to happen at the end of the round 3-4 turn. I thought it would start at quarterback. So I was basically trying to give myself one of them. So coming back in round 4, I could take my second if I needed, or in round 5, I could take it. Ends up everybody's smarter than me. And so this remained uncracked after I prematurely cracked the seal on that quarterback on the tier that everybody was waiting on. So I thought that was my worst pick, was Mayfield, but I'm still fine with it. I honestly don't have much Mayfield, so I get him in this draft that will, never matter. And there'll be, but the 3 receivers, man, I like Lamb, Neighbors, Higgins getting it in round 4. And then I get Matthew Golden and Josh Downs to round out the wide receiver room. Last pick, Jalen Coker. Let's go Adam Thielen to the Minnesota Vikings. And then Coker. It's just a better player than Xavier Legette. Let's just get that out there.
Yes.
And for waiting at running back, man, I feel okay. I really thought running backs. I thought I was going to hate them, but I got James Cook in round 5. And then I get RJ Harvey in round 7. And then come back with Caleb Johnson in round 9, and then Tajay Spears and the ankle sprain that's all the way to his hip. But I don't need him early. And then Ramondre Stevenson, honestly, I'm just taking him in any draft. I don't get Trevion because I draft so much Trevion. I'm like, just in case I'm wrong, I'm just going to take, it's my, even though it doesn't matter because it's a mock, but yeah, I did that. But Mayfield and Trevor Lawrence, I'm fine. Denny got me. I was going to take Jackson Dart in the second to the last round as my QB3. So good pick by Denny. So I'm fine with it. I don't love it, but I don't see like a massive weakness, on the team, which is kind of what you're looking for in a league like this where you have so many starters and it's super flex.
Yeah, we would be able to work with these 4 teams. I think all 4 of us. So good stuff. 3 great analysts, 3 interesting builds. Ian and Dwain always doing amazing work over at Fantasy Life. Denny doing such amazing work for us at Rotoworld this summer. So many articles, lots of really interesting analysis. We're trying to be interesting on the Rotoworld Football Show. So thank you so much to Fantasy Life and Dwain and Ian for joining Denny and I.
Thanks for having us, guys.
You're welcome. And we hope you're enjoying Rotoworld Draft Day. So for Dwain, Ian, and Denny, I'm Pat. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you soon.